AITAH for refusing to jump the broom at my wedding. I'm 33, black F, soon to be married to fiance, 29, white M. We're getting married in October. We've been together for 3 years, engaged for 1. I was born and raised in Kenya, and I moved to the States to attend university. My fiance is from the West Coast, Wyoming, and his parents still live there. My fiance and his parents don't have the best relationship. I've only met them a few times since we've been together. His mother always asks to come visit, but my fiance finds excuses to stop her from coming. He's very introverted, and his mother and father are a lot personality-wise, so I understand why he keeps his distance. After hearing about our engagement, my fiance's mother insisted on helping with the decorations for the wedding. She's an interior decorator. I told her that she could design the centerpieces, but everything else would be handled by the wedding planner. She begrudgingly agreed, and I thought that was the end of it. She flew in a few weeks after that to discuss wedding plans. She showed me a few of her centerpiece designs, and then showed me the real reason why she came, the brooms. At first, I didn't understand why she was showing me a bunch of elaborate brooms. She had a whole file showcasing about 50 types of brooms. I kept thinking that the venue we had chosen didn't need fancy brooms because it's a modern venue, and they wouldn't fit our theme. I guess she saw the confusion on my face because she asked if I already had a broom in mind because she was hoping we could pick one out together. I told her that the cleaning staff at the venue would do an excellent job beforehand, so bringing a broom would not be necessary. She laughed and said, "I'm talking about picking out a broom to jump over during the ceremony. I know the history of jumping the broom in African American history, but I'm from Kenya. We don't jump the broom in Kenya, and I would feel uncomfortable jumping the broom because it's not a part of my culture and my fiance is very white. I just didn't think that my white mother-in-law would be so insistent on us jumping the broom." She was downright beaming when she showed me more broom photos. I told her that I was uncomfortable with jumping the broom and gave her my reasons. My fiance stepped in and said that he was uncomfortable as well. His mother was mad. She said the whole reason she came here was to pick out brooms, and now our wedding won't have any culture. I told her that we could incorporate some of my tribe's traditions if she wanted to add some culture into my wedding. I mentioned the Kenyan choir that was going to be singing at our wedding and the traditional food that would be served, but she wouldn't budge on that broom, and how without it, we were turning our backs on my culture. I finally snapped and told her that we could always go the dowry route. Her side of the family could scrounge together a few goats and some cows, and we'd call it even. She turned red and stomped off. She left after a day of silent treatment. I thought she would cool down, but my fiance told me that would never happen. He was right. A few weeks ago, my fiance's mother made a post on Facebook. She decided to make her own custom broom herself and condemned me and my refusal to jump the broom. She went on about how I was turning away from my roots and how she slaved for weeks on a broom that will never be jumped over. I've received countless messages from her friends and family calling me a jerk. My fiance's dad has called us ungrateful. My fiance is livid and wants to boot her out of the wedding and cut contact. But now most of his side is refusing to come to the wedding to show solidarity with his mother. So, AITAH, update. I decided to be petty, so I wrote a rebuttal post to my future mother-in-law's Facebook post. A lot of people who commented clocked the slaved over line she used. I went back and counted the times she used the word slave in her Facebook post. She used the word over 10 times in just 2 paragraphs. My post touched on me being Kenyan and not African American several times, in caps. I decided to tag all of her friends' family that had sent me private messages condemning my refusal to jump over her custom broom. I reiterated that in true tradition of my tribe, a dowry would be expected from the groom's family. I mentioned that they could send their goats, cows, and chickens to my future mother-in-law's house if they felt inclined to make a contribution. I also wrote the post in both English and Swahili to really hammer down the point that I'm from Kenya. I may or may not have called my future mother-in-law a racist cow at the end. In a polite way, though. Since my Facebook post, all hell has broken loose. I knew that my post wouldn't win any of my fiance's family over to my side, but I didn't realize that my future mother-in-law had so much pull. After my post, I blocked and unfriended all of my fiance's family, minus a few members who had always been in my corner. I had only added most of them because of the wedding anyway, so no love was lost there. A few days later, my fiance's sister texted me and told me that her mother had doubled down. She recruited a bunch of her family friends to make their own brooms in solidarity with her, as they'd gone too far, and he needed space. Lots of space. As for the upcoming wedding, we have decided to accept my fiance's family's plan to boycott. Most of their invitations have been revoked, including the invitations extended to my future mother and father-in-law. They'll probably still show up to the wedding, but we have security. My fiance and I have decided to go low contact with his side of the family. He has muted, blocked his parents, and slowly moved to no contact in a few months.